faithful, my people. I'm the Douglas Carter, back on the scene doing my thing, and I just want to say I appreciate you and the work that you do. So real quick, I got something that's pretty exciting for Atlanta Falcons fans. If you haven't heard, the other day I was listening to 92.9 The Game, and they did an interview with Calais Campbell. Now, I've been on record saying, I wasn't a huge fan of Calais Campbell, but that's mainly due to me not really knowing too much about the guy. So, after listening to his interview, I am now a Calais Campbell fan. I am glad we got him. I know he's 36, about to be 37, or he already is 37. Listening to the interview, he still has a lot in the tank. He still has a lot to prove. Now, initially, I was like, okay, he's going to sign with the Falcons. He met with us. He didn't sign. And then I saw he had visits with the Jets and with the Bills. And I saw a tweet that he had put out saying he wanted to be in the Super Bowl or play for a contender. So I was like, might not be looking so good for our Atlanta Falcons, because I don't think we're quite Super Bowl contenders just yet. But I eat a little crow on that one, because Calais Campbell, he signed with us, okay? There was some information coming out saying that, Arthur Blank had a talk with them about involvement in the community, and all that helped him make his decision. But he says, this is his words, that he looked at this squad, he did his research on all the teams he could go to, and I'm assuming that the money was probably in the same ball field for every location that he met with, every team that he met with. So it really was like his preference. And Calais Campbell says that our Atlanta Falcons got the squad and that we're destined for greatness. So I'm excited, man. Falcons been doing a lot in free agency, signed a lot of depth pieces that could be potentially more, but nothing less than a depth piece as like a solid guy to add to our roster. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out this interview.
Why join the Falcons?
Yeah, once I started doing my research, I started really kind of doing a deep dive into to the team. I realized this team is destined for greatness. They're getting ready to have a breakout season. And I want to be a part of it. I look at the head coach and just his leadership skills and his vision and the way he calls the game. I think he's just a fantastic head coach. And I had a chance to play against him when he was in Tennessee and I was in Jacksonville, and he was always really tough. With his offenses. When I talk to other people that I value their opinion that are in the league, they all said the same thing. So we were in line. And then the defense. I think Ryan Nielsen is just a young up-and-coming, defense coordinator that has a brilliant game plan, and we had a really good conversation, and we talked through it, and he made me a believer, and so I just, I went through a very intensive process, and when it all came down to it, I seen that, okay, this team is destined for greatness, and I want to be a part of it.
Hey, Calais, this is Joe Patrick. I usually am up there in Flowery Branch covering the team, so I'm sure I'll meet you face-to-face later on this year. I'm just curious as to your perspective on this free agency, because at this stage of your career, you kind of have a lot more kind of freedom to just pick and choose and select exactly where you want to go. What were your priorities overall when you were kind of looking at teams, and what were you evaluating on these various teams that you were looking at?
Yeah, I evaluated, honestly, chance of winning this year. I think it starts with winning the division, because when you win your division, you have a chance to get to the playoffs. When you have a chance to go to the playoffs, you can win a Super Bowl, and so my experiences have taught me that, just getting in advance is most important, right? And then from there, it just comes down to playing one good game you could beat anybody, especially with the team that can run the ball, play good defense, right? And so, I was breaking down, what makes this team special? What makes this place, the place? And it really came down to it was like, can this team win the division? And when the games matter most, can this team, can they control the clock and be able to beat anybody? And this team, I feel like it fits the bill, and then, after that it was like, how am I going to be used? Am I going to be able to, reach? Am I going to be able to add value the way I want to? And I think so. I think obviously, I had a lot of teams that I would say this is obviously really good. I had a lot of teams that were interested, and a lot of teams that I feel like get a lot of love and respect out there in the outside world. That were interested, and so I feel like some people were caught off guard and maybe surprised. But when I did my research, my gut told me that Atlanta was the place to be.
How are you going to be used, do you think? I mean, that's obviously a part of it, like you said. What of those preliminary conversations, of course, but how do you foresee yourself being used in this defense?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to go out there and play every play, right? We're going to have a good rotation. I'm not capable of doing that anymore. I don't think, we're actually, most rookies are capable of doing it, right? Only certain few can, have that, have the stamina that, over their career to go out there and play 90% of plays like I've done most of my career. But I'm probably going to, be a 60%, kind of playing time guy. That's what we talked about, playing. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Now obviously, when crucial moments, you obviously want to play a little bit more and be in a situation where when the game's on the line, I want to be out there. And but you gotta also be honest with yourself and keep a good rotation, stay fresh, and stay, just into the process. But the most importantly though is how I'm be used is playing defensive end. I think dominating tight ends and setting edges in the run game, and then being able to crush the pocket from the outside. In pass game, and I think that's something that I did really well with my time in Jacksonville. And, I'm really excited, to have that opportunity to do it again, and I know, usually the older you get, the more you move closer to the ball, but, it seems like most of, my career, the older I get, I've been moving further away. But I feel like, my understanding of the game and my athleticism and just, the work I put in, I'm gonna be a big force on the edge. Cause a lot of havoc in backfields, and being able to set edges. I'm a firm believer that me playing and defensive end, you can't run the ball, to my side. And obviously that's a big statement, right? But I think my who I am and the way I work, I'm willing to go out there and back it up. So I'm excited about that role and that opportunity, and I think I can, help win a lot of ball games in that role.
Calais, obviously you're a player who is going to bring just massive amounts of just veteran experience and leadership to any team that you were to join. But this Falcons front in particular is quite young. I mean, I think Grady Jarrett's probably the wily veteran at the ripe old age of 29. So I'm curious if that was something that was talked about when you were signing, that the club may have seemed that something that you could add to this team specifically, or if that was just something that they intuitively understood that you were going to be able to bring to the group.
Yeah, we talked about it as well. I know, my value and what I bring in that world. And I made a point, I take great pride in helping, just young guys develop and reach their full potential. And so, that's just something of who I am. For some reason, I think I was a young buck, and I remember going and talking to some of the older players, and the whole thing was like, man, make sure you lead this game stronger. I'm coming up and loving on you right now, so that they used to say the pension, trying to keep the game strong. But for me, I just like to see young guys reach their full potential. I'm a teacher at heart, and so that leadership role and like trying to bring guys along, I'm excited about that. There's a lot of talent on this D-line, a lot of talent on this team, and I'm looking forward to, just sharing my experiences with these guys and trying to help them any way I can. And obviously, it's football, and you guys got to, everybody has their own role and what they're going to do and everything else. I'm gonna try my best to go out there and make my presence felt and be the best leader I can be, and try to help guys, develop as fast as possible. But there's a lot of talent on this D-line, you know, and I see, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, Jared's a great leader. You know, I've heard nothing but great things about him from, you know, from the football world. My conversation with him have been great. You know, I think David Yamada is another guy coming in who's a great leader. That I'm excited about. And so I feel like it's gonna be fun.
Calais Campbell joining us here on the Midday Show with Andy and Randy. Final question for us, Calais. Thanks again so much for the time this morning. We all know you're one sack away from 100, which obviously is a massive milestone for any defensive lineman. We've also seen the home run sack celebration. Is there anything, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, season's a ways away, but you got anything special planned for when you get number 100?
I did my baseball swing because of Neil Smith. Neil Smith played for the Broncos when I was a young buck and won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos when I was a young buck growing up in Denver, Colorado. And so I was a big fan of his. And so he got I believe he has 104 sacks. And so once I get to 104, I'll be done with the baseball swing. I'm going to get to that 104th swing and be done.
That's great,
That's
man.
awesome.
So, yeah. So, I mean, after that, though, I got to figure out something else. I've been thinking about something else to do. And so once I get to 104, 105th sack will be something different.
Okay. Are you workshopping it right now? Like, are you taking suggestions or what? Because that's 5 sacks
I
away.
ain't taking suggestions. Do you have anything? You got something for me?
Yeah, I don't know. You could try the you can't see me thing. That's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. You know, I got a little time, but hopefully, you know, I would like to get it, you know, fairly early in the season. You know, I like to get it this season.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully by the second half of the season, I'm doing something different.
Yeah, I hope so too, man.
Yeah.
That would mean 5 sacks in the first half.
Yeah.
As you may know, we've been sack deprived here, the Falcons fans, the last couple of years. We're counting on you to fix that. Thanks so much for the time, Calais.
Thanks, Calais.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So to wrap it up, 404 day in the A, you know what I'm saying? I put out a previous video, remix, smash up, mash up of some of our squads. The Hawks held on for dear life, held on for dear life against the Mavericks. Kyrie Irving and Luka. It's not going too good for them. The Hawks tried to give the game away, but they won. Trey hit some clutch free throws, and the Mavericks missed a couple clutch free throws that could have won them the game. And then Luka, you know, just threw up a turnaround 3, trying to hit a buzzer beater. No good. So the Hawks win 50-50. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That's what the Hawks are. I think they're going to be the 8th seed in the playing round, but, you know, we'll see what happens with the Hawks. Atlanta Braves just had some massive home runs, back-to-backs, you know, Acuna doing his thing, Olsen and Albies and Riley, they just all jacking stuff, even though Zuna went yard. So that's good to see out the Bravos. You know, Atlanta United, they're pretty much undefeated. They lost 1 game, but a lot of their star players got called for international duty. So I'm not really looking at it like an L, but it is what it is. They got some good stuff going there. And then, you know, the Falcons, the ATL hunt. Anyway, I appreciate everybody for subbing, for watching, for liking, for sharing. Everybody out there, you know how I do, and I appreciate all y'all. I'm going to end this video like I end all my videos. Thank God works, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day or night. 1.